You don't believe this, but Bernie Sanders nearly pulled out all of what's left of his hair last night on CNN when Caitlin Collins asked him a question that he nor AOC were too fond of. We also have some breaking news regarding Ukraine and Russia, a potential end to this conflict, as well as an insufferable rant that went literally nowhere from the psychotic Katie Porter, Democrat running for governor in California, who's about to drop out any day now if she still has her brain, which, you know what, these days, who knows, as well as something incredibly important that RFK Jr. just said to President Trump, and more on today's episode of the Adam C. Moreno Show. So like, subscribe, and let's jump right in. So we absolutely need to start here. Today, Secretary of HHS Bobby Kennedy Jr. was in the Oval Office alongside President Trump, where he told the president some brutally harsh truth that he needed to hear. Check this out.
On an airplane the other day, you said that you didn't believe that you were going to get to heaven. You're doing God's work here. You've made peace in the Middle East, which is beyond anybody's imagination. And now you're giving millions of Americans a chance to have babies. And you're doing this while the government is locked down by the Democrats. But this administration has not stopped working for the American people. And that's because of your energy, your commitment, your vision. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
So good. RFK Jr. locking eyes with the president, telling him that he's doing the Lord's work is something that I will probably never forget. When the president said what he said on the plane, that heaven wasn't in the cards for him anymore, I was so heartbroken. Because first of all, it is not about the works, because nothing you could ever do will ever earn a seat in heaven, but it is only through making that decision and crossing that line of faith and accepting Jesus. That is it. So that's what I would say to the president. That's what I would say to anyone else with ears. And next on the agenda is now AOC flipping out like a mad woman when Caitlin Collins, CNN reporter, did her job and asked a simple question that changed the rest of the night. Look at Bernie Sanders just losing it. You see his soul leaving his body whenever he hears this super normal question. Look at this.
But are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
I mean,
all right.
No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is
what we're talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
You have a country that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run? What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. So run what you want.
Nobody cares. It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
Right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real issue is. Let's see if CNN talks about it. We're living in the richest country in the history of the world, right? All right, you tell me why we're the only nation not to guarantee health care to all people, the only nation not to guarantee paid family and medical leave, why we have a $7.25 an hour minimum wage, why we have 800,000 people sleeping out on the street, why we have a president who denies the reality of climate change, why we have oligarchs on top who have more and more power every day. Let's talk about that issue, not her own political future. She'll decide that.
All right. Well, could we talk about why Democrats are losing their marbles lately when there is even just a tiniest amount of off-the-cuff questioning from journalists? Do you not understand that the people who are paying for your salary, the people you are supposed to be representing, AOC, we have questions. We want to know some things. We want to know your future. Pardon us for being interested in the future of who is running this country. It makes zero sense. But it does make as much sense as AOC telling everyone in the audience that air is drinkable. I am not kidding. Look at this.
Instead of talking about having air that's drinkable.
What? These are the brightest minds who are leading the Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know how to respond to that. Certainly, Bernie Sanders is left stunned. Also saw this from Link Lauren. He says that Bernie Sanders has a lot to say about the country falling apart with a myriad of issues, yet he's held office for 44 years. Maybe he and his career politician friends are the problem. I could not agree more. Maybe we should talk about that, Bernie. Maybe we can schedule an interview at one of your houses, because for a guy who hates capitalism, you sure love to benefit from it. And now, shifting gears to a more serious topic, President Trump today shared this on Truth Social, that he just got off the phone with President Putin of Russia, saying that there will be a meeting in Budapest to see if they can bring this inglorious war between Russia and Ukraine to an end. Zelensky will also be in the Oval Office tomorrow to discuss the phone call that he had today. So we're now looking forward to some more news tomorrow. Hopefully we see the president of Ukraine in a suit. Let me know anything about that, if you think he's going to show up in a suit or not, because that's always very entertaining to watch. And something else happened today in the Oval Office. President Trump announced that they're expanding coverage for fertility care, including IVF. I know a lot of people have been really looking forward to this, so check this out.
Today, we're also taking historic steps to vastly expand access to insurance coverage for fertility care, including IVF, something that, as you know, was not covered. Effective immediately, for the first time ever, we will make it legal for companies to offer supplemental insurance plans specifically for fertility. That's never been done before. We're signing it in today with what we sign. Americans will be able to opt in to specialized coverage, just as they get vision and dental insurance. They're going to get fertility insurance for the first time.
Look at that, for the first time. And now new details directly from the White House show exactly how this will happen. Let me go ahead and read the first bullet point. Look at that. Go Now, F, a commonly used fertility medication, will be made available to women purchasing directly from TrumpRx.gov at a discount equal to 796% of the deal price. Are you kidding me? So I had a lot of people asking about TrumpRx.gov and seeing some actual practical use cases. So there you have it. Here is a great example, great use case of this in action. And if you wanted to go ahead and pause this, you can read more about this, but this is on the whitehouse.gov/fact sheets page. So there you have it. And now look at what just came across my desk when Katie Porter, the woman who poured hot potatoes on her husband while verbally abusing the poor guy, refused to say that there aren't more videos of her just being a horrible person to her staff. Just give herself props for finishing an interview. Lady, you almost walked off. You pulled the mic off your shirt. You stood up. You said, "It's over. I'm done. I'm not going to do this." Like, what are you talking about? And the fact that this isn't just an easy no, the fact that you can't just say, you know what, no, you're never going to see another video of me abusing a staffer or just being a terrible person. The fact that you can't do that and that you are dancing around this question as if I accidentally turned on Dancing with the Stars, which is, it's a good show, but California's in trouble and it needs someone better. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, guys, let me know how you feel about this apology, if it even counts. I also wanted to mention real quick, we got some more breaking news from Secretary Brooke Rollins. I'll just go ahead and read this minutes ago. She writes, because of the Democrat shutdown, there are not enough funds to provide SNAP for 40 million Americans come November 1st. Democrats are putting free healthcare for illegal aliens and their political agenda ahead of food security for American families. Shameful. Wow. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this video from Feel the Burn, Sanders, and AOC to Secretary Kennedy and President Trump, as well as Katie Porter. And as always, if you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, turn on the bell, and I'll see you next time. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.